Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/AITA. In today's episode, AITA for not babysitting my wife after she got super drunk? AITA for letting people know through social media the reason I wasn't at my dad's wedding. AITA for telling my dill she showed us who she really was on her wedding day? Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. AITA for not babysitting my wife after she got super drunk? My wife and I were on vacation in a foreign city. We met up with some friends, went out to dinner and then hit the bars, and I got fairly tipsy/borderline drunk. Out of nowhere, my wife decides it's time to go all out and informs me it's her turn to get drunk. Problem was, I'm already tipsy/drunk LMAO. Then she duet disappears. We send a female from the group into the bathroom to find her, that was the assumption. But no, my wife just vanished to the bar and proceeded to down 12 shots of Fireball whiskey and some flavored vodka. Yeah, you can imagine how that went down. She pukes all over the place, pukes again on the street, and drunk me is kinda all on my lonesome as our friends are all trash too. Somehow, I managed to navigate both of us back to the hotel on foot, kudos to drunk me, I guess. I get her into the shower to clean off the puke, she says she's okay, and I flop onto the bed and pass TF out immediately. All seems well, until 2 a.m. rolls around and the hotel phone starts blaring. As I'm groggily trying to figure out what's happening, I get out of bed and I realize my feet are literally wading in water on the carpet, 2 inches deep. She passed out in the shower, not a bathtub, shower only, and her ass perfectly blocked the drain in the floor. It ended up flooding our entire hotel room and leaking out into the hallway and into someone else's room, who presumably called the hotel staff. We managed to get ourselves dressed, hotel staff comes up to talk, and we're shuffled to a new room without a watery carpet. No real consequences, and we're not charged any fees. But here's the crux of the issue, my wife turns around and blames me for the entire circus. Apparently, I should have been more attentive and made sure she got out of the shower. She said she was okay, sounded coherent at this point. I was drunk AF too. Ick. I guess I would get it if she didn't spring this on me after it was too late for me to not drink. So am I the asshole? Esh. You're both adults and both responsible for your shared drunken stupidity. Very true. It's definitely ESH. Handle your own drunk asses, and how I wish the hotel charged you guys for waterlogging the room. Info, so nobody from your group stayed at least minimally sober? All of you just got drunk with no one to steer rest of you to the place of stay? Dangerous, irresponsible, immature drunken stupidity. ESH, you were both drunk. A drunk person cannot designate another drunk person to be sober. You also weren't driving as you navigated by foot. You are always getting drunk and she's always taking care of you, good red flag, you drink too much. This was my take. She decided she had enough of taking care of his drunkenness and showed him what it was like to be out with him all sloshed. ESH unless you're 17, in which case I'll give you a pass for being young and stupid. You left someone who was puking and did 12 shots in a shower by themselves? If you were sober enough to get her home and into the shower, you were sober enough to get her into bed safely, on her side, with a bucket nearby. Not cool. As for your wife, deciding to go on a spring break bender in a foreign city with no real backup is just so stupid it's mind-boggling. The water was deep enough to overflow and she was passed out in it? The fact that she didn't drown is amazing. And that she didn't hit her head falling down, which could also easily severely disable or kill her. It is a miracle he didn't find her dead. Esh. Who knocks back that many shots at once and who leaves a blackout drunk person not in the recovery position? Sounds like you two deserve each other. Info needed. What did your wife mean when she said it was her turn to get drunk? I am assuming from that it's always you whose turn it is to get drunk, and after looking after you constantly she wanted to have a good time. If that's the case, then YTA. ESH. Designated drivers are for driving. You should not need a designated functioning adult. If you're getting drunk to that point, you need to drink less. ESH. Never leave a drunk person unattended in the shower, and she shouldn't have gotten so trashed. AITA for letting people know through social media the reason I wasn't at my dad's wedding. I, F18, was always pretty close to my dad. Closer to my mom, but I often visited my dad, about 3 to 4 times a week. A few years ago, he started dating Anna. Anna and I always got along. When my dad proposed, I was happy. Anna seemed like she would be a great stepmom. Well, a few weeks before the wedding, after I had bought everything, dress, shoes, etc., my dad and Anna said they needed to talk to me. Anna and my dad decided to have a child-free wedding, which I get especially for young kids. Well, turns out child-free means no one under 18. On the day of the wedding, I was still going to be 17, so, therefore, I'm not allowed to be at the wedding because Anna wants to stay true to the child-free rule even for the daughter of the groom and her about-to-be stepdaughter. The funny thing is my 18th birthday was just 2 days after the wedding. But still, I wasn't allowed to go. The wedding was just last weekend, the 12th, and my birthday was yesterday, the 14th. I haven't talked to Anna or my dad since they told me I couldn't attend the wedding since I wasn't an adult. My mom ended up taking me on a birthday vacation, and yesterday I posted birthday pictures on Facebook and said, finally an adult. I'm so glad my dad and Anna didn't allow me at their wedding since I was under 18. I feel more mature since yesterday. The family was freaking out, asking if that was true and bashing my dad and Anna. I later got a bunch of texts from my dad and Anna calling me immature and a selfish brat, and that's why I was too immature to be at a wedding. I was talking to some friends and they said I was kinda an AH for doing that and I should have just let it go. NTA. What kind of man doesn't have his own child at his wedding? Anyway, they made the choice. If they believe it was the right choice, they should have no issue about it being publicly known. Plus, people might well assume you weren't there because you disapproved of his new wife or chose a vacation instead. Ensuring people know why you weren't there saves your own reputation. My dad, but I was 4 at the time. The no children was made for you. I'm sorry, but let that sink in. She made that rule to keep you out. You now know where you stand in their marriage, you don't. I'm so sorry. NTA. I personally think it was epic. Harsh but epic. They deserved more than that. I would even update it with pictures of their texts. I can't help but wonder if she purposefully picked a date before OP's birthday just so she couldn't go. If the dad and stepmom wanted to make it child-free but make sure OP was there, they could have made sure the date was after OP's birthday, but to make it just 2 days before. Now they didn't want her there and was just trying to use that as an excuse. NTA banning the 17-year and 363-day-old daughter of the groom from a wedding because it's child-free is a decision. A decision to exclude. To not invite. To make unwelcome. Not just in their wedding but on their lives. Not only that, but they also waited to tell her until she had already invested time and money into getting ready for the wedding. If they told her from the beginning, it still would have been heartless, but at least she would have had time to process it and avoided wasting time, money and excitement on these heartless idiots. NTA, obviously, they absolutely deserve the public shaming. NTA. The rule was nonsense, designed to exclude you specifically. They know it, and so do you. Reply to your father that you now know where his priorities lie with his new wife, who didn't want any reminders of his old life at her wedding, and you will act accordingly. This is just the first of many times they exclude and insult you. I'm very sorry that you found out this way how little your dad values you, but now that you know, be proactive about ensuring he can never hurt you like this again. NTA, keep being a wide-eyed innocent and be totally baffled at why they are asking you to lie about the real reason. Say, I kept getting asked why I wasn't there, so I figured it was better to just tell everyone at once. Never sway from this and keep acting like you can't understand what the problem is. Literally just keep repeating, but you told me not to come, why would you want me to lie about it? Rinse and repeat, never change the wording regardless of how it's phrased. AITA for telling my dill she showed us who she really was on her wedding day? I'm the father of 4 children. In May my son Neil got married to Debbie. Debbie acted terribly the whole day. Straight up entitled and embarrassing. My oldest daughter was 3 months pregnant and hadn't told anyone because she has already had 1 miscarriage. She was barely showing and Debbie picking a tight-fitting bridesmaid dress. My daughter was super sick from morning sickness and Debbie told her she looked disgusting and stopped taking attention off of her. My son, who was best man to the groom, his brother, had his wife seated with some cousins across the room at the reception and not at the family table because she wasn't immediate family. We did not know this until the reception and tried to have her moved back with our table and Debbie said no, it's her day. It caused a fight and the best man just left before the reception because his wife was snubbed. A few days after the wedding my daughter miscarried again while Debbie and Neil was on their honeymoon. Debbie felt like that was attention seeking. My wife, children, and spouses normally rent a house by the beach for Labor Day, and because of continued bad blood between Debbie and the rest of the family, they aren't invited. All 3 of my other children basically said if Debbie comes they aren't going. So Debbie and Neil got the axe. When Neil asked about it I told him Debbie showed us who she really was on her wedding day and don't expect many invites from the rest of the family to do things. Neil was pissed and saying it's not fair that she is feeling left out because she saw on social media where all the girls, including the snubbed Sil, her mother, and my wife, went to Barbie movie dressed in pink and she felt left out. Now he has to tell her she can't go to the annual beach vacation and she's feeling hurt. I told him not one person in the family wants Debbie there and I'm sorry that she can't come. My son had me on speaker and Debbie started crying, say she can't believe how horrible we are and she wasn't going to go anyways and don't expect to see her at Thanksgiving or Christmas ever again. I lost my temper at Debbie and I told her the rest of the family would be relieved to hear it. I'm sorry that she can't come. Sorry, not sorry. Debbie started crying, say she can't believe how horrible we are and she wasn't going to go anyways and don't expect to see her at Thanksgiving or Christmas ever again. Tell Debbie you feel like that's attention-seeking behavior and to stop taking attention off the family. Also, tell her you understand her position and will respect her decision not to come. Ever. Again. NTA. Tell Debbie you feel like that's attention-seeking behavior and to stop taking attention off the family. This right here. NTA. Honestly, I kinda feel like OP should have asked, is that a promise? When she said that. Or thank you for the gift. A few days after the wedding my daughter miscarried again while Debbie and Neil was on their honeymoon. Debbie felt like that was attention-seeking. Everyday Reddit makes me ask, how do people like that exist? NTA. This blew me away. Truly, how? How does someone like this exist? NTA. It takes a truly awful person to tell a mother who has just had her second baby die to stop seeking attention. Especially when the mother hadn't told people she was pregnant because she was concerned about miscarriage. It was the bride herself, insisting on a tight bridesmaid dress and harping on the bridesmaid's morning sickness, that dragged the focus to the pregnancy. Opie's daughter was trying to avoid attention. NTA, and if I were part of your family, I'd be thrilled to hear that I wouldn't see her again at any more family gatherings. I'm sorry, your daughter miscarried and Debbie thought that was attention-seeking? When I tell you my jaw dropped, does Neil know all the details of how Debbie acted on her wedding day and afterwards? Because there are more than enough reasons to not want her around. Does he think you and the rest of the family are being mean for no reason? NTA. She owes people about 200 sincere apologies before there should be any consideration of inviting her to another family gathering. She sounds absolutely awful, and you don't have to put up with her terrible behavior just because she's family by marriage. My daughter miscarried again while Debbie and Neil was on their honeymoon. Debbie felt like that was attention-seeking. I'm sure your daughter miscarried on purpose just to take the focus off of the newlyweds. NTA. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.